Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review. And for this video, I'll be reviewing episode 220 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And man, this was a fantastic episode titled Remaining Time. This was a freaking fantastic episode. Man, so yes, a lot of stuff to talk about. So first thing I want to start off with is the anime actually basically filled in something, basically gave us an explanation that we never got in the manga, and we might not ever get in the manga, or we might get in the manga down the line. But the whole thing with the pills, when Amato was explaining things about the pills, in the manga, things was different. In the manga, Naruto went to Amato, and he basically went to Amato, and Amato gave him the pills. But in the anime, Amato came to him, and he actually revealed that he had given those pills to Kawaki, but he was giving it to him in small doses in order to basically not make Jigen get suspicious. But yeah, so that's something that we don't have to theorize about anymore. It was people making theories about why Kawaki's karma seal basically didn't, extract as fast as Boruto's, because Kawaki he had his karma seal since he was a little kid, pretty much. And Boruto, he had just gotten his karma seal when Momoshiki, basically after he defeated Momoshiki, and so that's only been like a year that he's had it, whereas Kawaki has had it for several years. So yeah, so we actually finally got an explanation for that in the manga. We never got an explanation for that. So yeah, I was just really hyped and surprised when I actually seen that they actually gave us an explanation for that. And man, it's just a lot of great stuff that happened in the episode. So yeah, also, Naruto said that he basically asked Kawaki, do he want to be a Genin? For all of those people who was in the comment section for my tuning exams video, where I was talking about the next tuning exams for Boruto, for all of those people who were saying, oh, Kawaki, he's not a ninja yet, he has to go through the academy or blah, blah, blah. No. Naruto literally just proved my point. He literally just asked Kawaki, do you want to become a Genin? So obviously, Kawaki can become a Genin very quickly. Now, does that mean he'll be competing in the tuning exams? No, it doesn't seem like that's the case. And in fact, it actually seems like Boruto, Sword, and Misuke are going to be on the same team. And I basically expected that was going to be the case anyways. And I literally mentioned that in my video where I was talking about the tuning exams. But I did want to see, Kawaki join Team 7. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But yeah, so yeah, it's just a lot of great stuff that happened in this episode. So basically, the whole thing that was going on was Naruto, he had to make a hard decision. And it actually seemed like Naruto was very hesitant about if he was going to try to kill Boruto or not. So like Naruto, basically we had the 5 Kage summit, or they had a virtual 5 Kage summit. And Naruto and Shikamaru pretty much explained to all of the Kage everything that had went down with the whole Ishiki stuff and what Amato told them and all that. And they asked a couple questions. And Gaara, his main question was, is Naruto gonna be willing to, basically stop Boruto and potentially even kill him? And he basically emphasized that he basically emphasized that he's probably going to need to try to kill Boruto, as soon as possible before Momoshiki resurrects through him. Because he was basically saying that it's not a guarantee that you can take out Naosuke since you lost the Nine-Tails, since you lost Kurama. It's not a guarantee that you can take out Naosuke, And keep in mind, Boruto is still 80% Naosuke. And even not just Naruto, but the other Kage as well as Sasuke, everybody kept on bringing up the fact that Naruto lost Kurama. And Naruto even said in this episode, he said multiple times that he's gonna, first of all, he said that he doesn't want to, ruin the reputation of Hokage and stuff like that. Like it basically sounded like he had a lot of doubt. And he like said he don't know if he's gonna be able to fulfill his role as Hokage as well as he did or whatever. But yeah, basically seemed like he had a lot of doubt in his abilities in this episode since he lost Kurama. And so all of that stuff made sense, because what Gaara was basically saying was Naruto's not going to be strong enough to take out Boruto, especially once Boruto resurrects through Momoshiki. So Gaara is basically saying, like, he was basically asking Naruto, is he gonna be able to take out? Is he gonna be able to take out Boruto before before Momoshiki resurrects through Boruto? Like, is he gonna be able to basically kill Boruto in his sleep or something like that? Because that's probably the only possible way he could actually kill Boruto. And yes, that's because Boruto is 80% Otsutsuki. And I know a lot of people, it's a lot of people who love acting like Naruto is super strong. But even, like, everybody was just, like, even Naruto himself had doubt in his abilities as Hokage in this episode. So, yeah, not just Naruto, but everybody else around him, they kept on reminding him. And Naruto said he's not going to be able to fight like he used to anymore. And in general, personally, Boruto should be stronger than Naruto right now. And I'm not just talking about, like, the whole thing if he transforms into Momoshiki. I'm talking about in general, base Boruto should be stronger than Naruto right now. And I'm going to do a whole separate video about, you know, basically why why Kawaki and Boruto should be stronger than Naruto right now. But essentially, Boruto is still 80% Otsutsuki. He literally has Otsutsuki chakra and DNA. Naruto no longer has... it was already confirmed that Naruto doesn't have superhuman strength and superhuman chakra by Sakura. That was already confirmed. But anyways, so yeah, so basically Boruto, it was a lot of stuff that went down. And yeah, so Naruto, it looked like, I mean, he had a conversation with Boruto, and he told Boruto that, he said he's going to risk his life for Boruto. He said, I'm going to risk my life. If something was to happen, I'll risk my life for you. Now, what he meant by that was, I mean, Boruto pretty much asked him could he trust him or whatever. But basically what it seemed like, what he meant was that since he'll risk his life to actually stop Boruto from, you know, if something were to happen to Boruto, like if he were to transform into Momoshiki, he would risk his life for Boruto. Now, the way it seems like Boruto kind of took it as if Naruto was basically saying he wasn't going to kill him. And that's why Boruto comfortably fell asleep in Naruto's arms. And he asked Naruto, can I trust you? Naruto brought up, you know, the promise that Sasuke made to him. And the whole thing that the Kage were trying to basically, he basically said it was similar to what the Kage were talking about. But his words didn't necessarily mean he wasn't going to try to kill Boruto. It just meant that he was going to do anything that he could. I mean, he would risk his life for Boruto if something were to happen to Boruto. So if Boruto was to turn into Momoshiki, he was going to risk his life to actually kill Boruto. Now, and that's actually makes sense because he would have had to risk his life anyways, because he's not going to be able to easily defeat Boruto. In fact, like I just said, Boruto actually should be stronger than him. So it actually made the most sense for Naruto to try to kill Boruto in his sleep. But he seemed like he was hesitating, like his hands was shaking, and he seemed like he was hesitating. He was hesitant about actually killing Boruto. And then that's when Amato walked up, and he basically offered Naruto the pills. And Naruto asked, "Why are you giving me these?" And Amato, like, he basically asked, is it just because he didn't know if Naruto would make a decision? Amato said that's not the only reason. I mean, that's only, you know, that's not the main reason he's doing this. The main reason is because he actually had a daughter who died 12 years ago, and he knows what it feels like to not want to lose a kid. So that's his main reason. His main reason for giving Naruto the pills to give to Boruto. And yeah, so and also he explained that the whole thing where Naruto asked him, like, why are you just now bringing this up if you had this all along? And Amato said that since Boruto, he already inherited, he has the potential to get the Byakugan, and those pills were designed to nullify the Byakugan and the powers of the Byakugan, which is connected to the Otsutsuki, which is why it could work on the Karma Seal. But in the manga, here's the difference between here's the difference between the manga and the anime. In the manga, Amato wasn't sure if the pills would work or not. He said it's worth a try, and he said that he had made those to try to weaken Jigen. But in the anime, he said that he basically gave the same reason. He did a lot of things to try to figure out how to weaken Jigen / Ishiki. But in the anime, he actually knew that the pills would work. And he actually said that these should actually stop the the Otsutsuki-fication completely. He never said that in the manga. In the manga, he said that it might, slow down the process. In the anime, he said that these pills should stop the process completely. So this could mean that Boruto's completely safe. Like the Otsutsuki-fication is literally just not going on at all. And in fact, Boruto actually got tested in the episode that showed that the Otsutsuki-fication stopped. Now, will it start back up again pretty soon? That we'll have to wait and see on that. But it actually literally just stopped. And the reason why it didn't completely stop in Kawaki's case is because Amato was giving it to Kawaki in small doses because he didn't want Ishiki/Jigen to figure out what he was doing. But yeah, so he had already knew that these pills would work because he had already used them on Kawaki. But the thing is, Boruto, since he's, half Hyuga, it could, have other side effects on him besides just stopping in Karma Seal, since Boruto's already half Hyuga as it is. But after Boruto got the test, the test basically showed that the Otsutsuki-fication completely stopped for the moment. For the time being, the Otsutsuki-fication completely stopped, and he has no side effects. But with that being said, all of the physical changes that have been done to his body still remains, and that's a very important piece of dialogue. That means that he is still 80% Otsutsuki. For those of you who might get confused on that, he's still 80% Otsutsuki. Therefore, he still has 80% Otsutsuki chakra, DNA, and blood. So, yes, he's still 80% Otsutsuki. That means he's still extremely strong. And yes, he actually should be stronger than Naruto at this point. But also, some other great stuff in this episode. The emotion was really great in this episode. We had scenes where Boruto, he was walking around the village and he was really depressed and he wasn't sleeping. He wasn't getting any sleep, and he told Mitsuki that he was worried that if he did go to sleep, he might end up hurting Sarada or somebody else close to him. And so he wasn't getting any sleep because of that. And after he took the pills, that's when he finally was able to get some sleep. And so, yeah, Sarada and everybody was worried about him. Sumire was worried about him. And, so everybody was worried about him in the episode. And, yeah, that stuff was cool. Cool seeing that stuff. Sumire actually came in and came up and talked to Sarada and Mitsuki. I thought that she was going to reveal to them the fact that basically the fact that Momoshiki was actually trying to resurrect through Boruto's body, because we still never got Sarada and Mitsuki's reaction to that. And specifically, I wanted to see Sarada's reaction to that. At this point, I don't even know if the anime is going to, even make that a thing anymore. Because the thing is, since the Otsutsuki-fication is completely stopped, that means Momoshiki should no longer be a threat to Boruto's life. So, in the manga, just in general, Momoshiki shouldn't be a threat to Boruto's life. Now, I'm actually curious to see how the manga is going to incorporate these changes that the anime made, or if they're going to incorporate them at all. Because in the manga, it was basically just implied that the pills was going to slow down Boruto's Otsutsuki-fication in the manga. That was basically implied in the manga. But it was never stated or implied that it would stop the Otsutsuki-fication completely. Or it might have been, it might have been, hinted at that might stop it. But the main thing was it was just most likely going to slow it down. But Amato basically said that it should definitely stop it. And from the test results, it did definitely stop the Otsutsuki-fication. So Momoshiki shouldn't be a threat to Boruto's life at all anymore. So I'm curious to see how they're gonna do that in the manga and explain the stuff that we just got revealed in the anime and the manga. But yeah, so that's the case with that. Now, with that being the case, it might not even be necessary for us to get a reveal of the reaction of Sarada and Mitsuki to finding out that Boruto was going to become Momoshiki. We might not even need that reaction. Technically, I would still like to have that reaction. But since Boruto's life is no longer in danger, it probably wouldn't even be really necessary for them to know that right now. But then again, who knows? The pills could just slow down things. And, basically, it could have stopped the process right now. But the Otsutsuki-fication could start back up in the future. We don't know, but we got to wait and see on that. Also, before Boruto got the pills, it was basically Katasuke. He said that it was gonna be like Boruto could become like basically Naruto asked how long do Boruto has before he turns into Momoshiki, and Katasuke said anywhere between a couple of weeks and 6 months. So either a half a year. I mean, basically, he said at the most basically half a year, and at the soonest six. I mean, at the soonest a couple of weeks, and then at the longest basically about a half a year. And in the manga, it was basically like a half a year time skip between the Ishiki stuff and the stuff that we're in right now. So, yeah, that's the case with that. But yeah, so other than that, we had a scene where Kawaki, he basically returned Naruto's prosthetic arm because he got his own. He got basically his arm completely regenerated, and Amato basically Amato was the reason why that happened. And he said that he used Kawaki's own cells to do it, and it's mainly the reason why it worked is because his body is a scientific ninja tool. More accurately, he has scientific ninja tools built into his body. He's not literally a scientific ninja tool. I don't know why they worded it like that, but yeah. So, and we also had a scene where Sasuke was talking to Naruto, and he basically told Naruto that you need to wake up to reality. You no longer have Kurama anymore. You're most likely gonna need. He basically what he was implying was just like what Gaara was implying at the start of the episode. You are not going to be able to take out. It's not a guarantee that you're going to be able to take out Boruto once Momoshiki resurrects. You're probably going to need to try to kill him right now. That's basically what Sasuke was implying and what Gaara was implying, because everybody was doubting Naruto, and I don't blame him. I mean, even Naruto was doubting himself. He's drastically weaker, undeniably drastically weaker than he was when he had Kurama. So, yeah, that was the case with that. And also, it was revealed that Amato was basically appointed to being the advisor of Katasuke in the Scientific Ninja Tool Team. And also, Kawaki, like I said, I think I said this earlier on in the review, but Naruto asked Kawaki, does he want to become a Genin? Kawaki actually said, I'll think about it. So, yeah, I don't know what, I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take before we get Kawaki's answer. But the fact that Naruto said, I mean, well, you could argue. I mean, well, we don't know exactly what Naruto would be. I mean, if Naruto would just instantly promote Kawaki to being a Genin. We know Kawaki, he's already trained under Naruto. He's already way above academy level, so it will make no sense for him to. I mean, well, if he did go through the academy, he should just pass it instantly right now. I mean, just instantly pass it because he's skilled enough to do that. But yeah, Naruto asked Kawaki, does he want to become a Genin? Kawaki said he would think about it. I like the fact that the anime added that dialogue in. That leads me to believe that they might do something with Kawaki becoming a ninja in the future. But as it stands right now, it doesn't seem like he's going to take part in the tuning exams. And yeah, so with all of that being said, I believe I covered everything in the episode. And the preview got me really hyped. Like, man, the preview for the next episode. I seen the Forest of Death, the gates for the Forest of Death, and I got really hyped. Now the thing is, I got really hyped, but I already know that this is probably just gonna be a one episode thing, the Forest of Death, based off of the synopsises that I seen on Twitter. I'm not gonna spoil anything, any of the synopsises, but yeah, it seems like that's gonna be a 1 day thing. But yeah, I like, just like I said in my tuning exams video, I said I would love to see them bring the tuning exams back. I mean, bring the Force of Death back, and they actually did it. Now, but what it seems like they're doing, because it seemed like Sarda and Mitsuki were carrying some people. So I don't know if they're gonna have them doing. What I suspect is gonna happen is I think they're gonna have them doing some little test where they have to rescue some people or something like that. I don't think they're gonna have a full blown Force of Death type of test where they're going to be in the Force of Death, obviously, because we've seen it in a preview. They're going to be in the Force of Death, but I don't think they're going to have the same type of rules that we had in Part 1 Naruto in the tuning exam during the Force of Death, where you could literally kill people and stuff like that. I don't know if they're doing some type of rescue thing or whatever. We seen Boruto underwater with a snake coming up from behind him. Oh yeah, and also since Boruto, it was basically revealed that basically I said in my last review that I don't get why, since I don't get why Boruto is allowed to compete in the tuning exams because, you know, the whole thing with the karma seal, and they were worried about it going out of control. But that's no longer a problem since Boruto took the pills and he, his Asukification stopped. So Momoshiki's basically the threat of Momoshiki is no longer there. So yes, that means that Team 7 can resume going on missions and stuff, and they can resume going on missions, and it actually makes complete sense why Team 7 is able to compete in the tuning exams. So yeah, this episode was fantastic. In terms of story, tremendous 10 out of 10, amazing episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. In terms of art, I'm gonna give it a I'll say a 9.5 out of 10 for artwork, because there were a couple of scenes in the episode where Naruto was looking completely weird. I mean, Naruto was just drawn completely weird in a couple of scenes. But yeah, those scenes were few and far between. I think it was only like 1 or 2 scenes where he looked very weird. But yeah, so 9.5 out of 10 for the artwork, 10 out of 10 for the story, and 10 out of 10 for the animation. This was a tremendous, fantastic, epic, amazing episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, adding a lot of detail and depth to the story that it adapted from the manga, because it did adapt a chapter from the manga, but it added in a lot of anime original scenes, a lot of emotional scenes, a lot of depth, and it actually answered a question that a lot of people had in the manga, which was, that a lot of manga readers had, which was Kawaki had the karma seal way longer than Boruto, so how are they both 80% Otsutsuki? That question was answered, and yeah, overall, this was an amazing episode. I just loved everything about this episode. Just absolutely fantastic, and yeah, I can't wait for next week's episode. I'm looking forward to next week's episode. Also, this is episode 220 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, which means Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the anime, now has the same amount of episodes as the original Naruto anime had. So I might do a video in the future and talk about, comparing things between Boruto and the original Naruto and Boruto, because now that we have literally the exact same amount of episodes, that we had in Naruto with Boruto, we can do an accurate episode by episode comparison. Literally, if we wanted to, we can compare episodes, the first 220 episodes of Naruto and the first 220 episodes of Boruto. We have an accurate, we can do that now, episode for episode. I'm probably not going to do an episode for episode, though. I'm probably just going to talk about overall and which anime I think is better overall, or, just compare it overall. Or maybe I just might talk about it overall. But anyways, with all of that being said, man, this was a fantastic episode. I really loved it. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that channel notification bell to be notified on all of my future videos. And if you liked the video, please drop a like and drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode and of my review in the comment section below. And share the video all over the internet. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.